Morning folks, Kevin here. Well, it's August 8th, 2018. I'm out at the west garden plot right now. And I thought what I'd try to do today is hook up a different apparatus. I've got to move on today and get quite a bit done before the high heat and humidity gets to me. And so one of the things I got to do is do some harvesting in the eastern garden plot this morning. But I thought I'd try and show you what we've got so far. So I'm over in the western side of the plot. Oh, let me explain what I've got here for a setup, if it works. So I've got the GoPro Hero 5 on a gimbal hooked to a monopod, and on the top of the monopod is my Canon 80D, and that's what you're looking at me right now. But hopefully I'll be able to adjust the GoPro so you can see it and simultaneously save me time filming a little and see how it works out for editing. So as you may be able to see here, there's quite a bit of the corn down, and we had those high winds the other day with a little bit of rain that we did get. That was pretty beneficial. Now let me see if I can adjust this GoPro camera a little bit. So our carrots seem to be doing extremely well. Our corn is doing great as well. This drought has really been something. I actually looked this morning to see where we are from August 8th of 2017 to August 8th of 2018. In this area, Oswego County, the annual precipitation is 42 inches each year. In the last calendar year, since August 8th until August 8th, 2017 to 2018, we're just over 15 inches here on this property because we have a couple of weather stations that we're monitoring here on site. So let me walk down. We'll take a quick walk down where the carrots are. They're looking really good. I won't bend down right now because of this gear. But the carrots I'm pretty darn happy with. This is the first row or permanent raised bed of the carrots. And you can see the height of the sprinkler heads. They're just way too low in order to get adequate irrigation around. I'd hoped to get those drip irrigation tapes in, but I didn't. Our leeks are looking pretty darn well considering everything. It's hit or miss. You'll see some of the leeks are much larger, the ones nearest to the overhead sprinklers. And so I've got to put together another sprinkler system, overhead irrigation system, that I planned on doing last year, but I just haven't had time to do it yet. Now down here we got the sage here, we got the lemon basil, and then we got sweet basil at the end down there. The oregano, it's already gone to flower and to seed. The honeybees are in there right now as well. These are our red scarlet runner beans that make these great big beautiful bean pods. Let me see if this is going to show up. So here's one of those big bean pods. This garden plot is doing this bean system here, and you can see there's a whole bunch on the ground that we've got to get strung back up. But the beans have been doing fantastic over here. The hummingbirds absolutely love these flowers as well. I mean, they're here all the time. There's Betty Boo over there. Good girl, honey. And here we have our Cherokee Trail of Tear beans, and you can see the size of their beans are smaller. Their pods are smaller as well, but they're delicious. I had them yesterday, and I'll probably have them today too. Both of these beans. So that's it in this garden plot. Certainly we have our potted plants over there as well. The ones that are going to be potentially transplanted in other sites on the property. Those are the thornless blackberry plants. And the, what else are they? They're currants, black currant, I think those are black currants. And we have one hostaberry as well. Let's go to the central garden plot now. Just on the other side of the workshop area. A lot of my time is being spent lately doing some future plans for water capture and all, since each year as I've been going through this, we're really getting nowhere near the amount of water that our historical climate has shown. We haven't even come close to 42 inches in the last 7 years that I've been keeping very close and accurate data on our water that comes on our property. So here we are here, let's see. So the comfrey's on the left side of the screen here. That's always doing fantastic. This is the weed mat garden bed that we lost. It's without any. All right, so this is the plot that has multiple permanent raised beds. That we have the black weed mats down covering the paths as well as the raised beds, and we didn't burn holes in these ones. And I lost quite a few of the plants. Some of it I'm certain due to the heat contact, and certainly some of it due to the high winds snapping so many of these plants off, but also millipedes. So those are some of the issues. So there's some of the banana peppers. Those, gosh, I really love these sweet red banana peppers. They start off green, turn yellow, get a little orangish, and then get bright red. So these are our San Maranzo, I think is how you pronounce it, tomatoes here along this row, the second row, permanent raised bed. They all tolerated the excessive heat with this just fine. These are bell peppers, which tolerated things better as well. I can squeeze by this row here. I haven't had the chance to get out here and do the pruning that I would like to do. I'm going to raise this up some, this camera view. And so we have a variety of heirloom tomatoes on the left-hand side of the screen. The bell peppers, mostly bell peppers. A couple of them were replaced with the sweet banana peppers as well. And these are just starting to get to the point where they'll be ripe next week. We have another small area over by the Harbor Freight greenhouse that we've been growing some tomatoes over there, and they're the ones we're eating now. Now to the left side of the screen here, we have the curly kale, which Thea already harvested about 5 days ago. It needs to be harvested again. Never got to harvesting the Russian red kale here. I'll walk down here. Both of these plants tend to do extremely well. The red Russian kale doesn't seem to tolerate the heat quite as well as the curly kale. Our pests this year, even though we didn't have as many of the beneficial insects, fortunately our insect-eating birds have been doing extremely well this year. It started off with about a flock of about, I'd say 10, maybe 20 of the small insect consuming, the caterpillar consuming birds. Now there's 50, 60 of them coming over here, and they're keeping up with those caterpillar moths pretty darn well. They're just in here, and they love sitting on top of the hoops and all these fences. That's really worked out very well. Here are our jalapeno peppers, which tend to have done much better thus far with the black mats. So we'll have to see. This has been one hot season this year. You can see some of our eggplants. I don't know. Let's see if I get the camera down there. See, some of the eggplants are ready to harvest as well. So the eggplants are looking very well. These are the Orient Charm eggplants. We love these. So easy to cook with, to store as well. And then this is the second row of carrots over here, or the second permanent raised bed of carrots over here as well. This is the one that I had my pseudo shade cloth on, which worked out pretty well. All right, let's go over to the eastern garden plot now. That's where I got to go in and do some harvesting today before it gets much warmer. Unfortunately, we have 5 freezers and 4 refrigerator freezers. We're really struggling trying to find spot in our freezers to get this stuff in here. And I know that folks have asked about us selling so much of this. I really should try, once I get more of the structures in place around here, hopefully I'll be able to spend more time on selling some of this stuff. I'm just not much of a marketer. Here I am walking up through the main access area here. On our left are our Cherokee Trail of Tears. We'll get over to the right side there in a little while. We're going to go down this area here first. And they're doing pretty well. These got started really late. And this row right here is our row of collards, and there's some broccoli in here, but mostly dill and celery in this bed here. This is the one that I created from the totes and all. Here's the other side of this trellis tunnel hoop here with the more of the scarlet runner beans on the right hand side of your screen. And again, I haven't been doing the weeding like I should have. Let's take a walk down here. Oh, in one of the previous videos I talked about kiwi, starting them right up these trees, and this was a big mistake. I'm going to have to pull this one out this fall and decide where I'm going to put this hardy kiwi. So that's that kiwi here on a locust tree. And some of the broccoli is looking pretty good this year. I'm getting to it a little bit late. I should have gotten to it 2 days ago. You see, are you able to see some of this stuff? And we've been harvesting the cauliflower like crazy. Thea's got some really good recipes she's been doing with the cauliflower. Lots of baked or roasted cauliflower, which has really turned out to be quite delicious. And we got another row of broccoli over here, and I really need to come in and thin out a lot of the weeds, not the weeds, I'm sorry, all the dead leaves, and all clean up some of this material, because this, not only is it unsightly, but I think it also promotes some of the pests as well without keeping these beds as nice and neat as I'd like them. We've already taken probably almost all of the first crowns off of the white cauliflower and the purple cauliflower in these rows. I've got to trim off some more of the large leaves. Just like broccoli, you can go ahead and take that main big crown that you get in the beginning of the season. And then with the cauliflower, if you trim off the big leaves, all the small leaves will start coming up, and then you get these little cauliflower buttons just like the broccoli. So you can get multiple harvests out of your cauliflower like you can the broccoli, like most people know about the broccoli. So there we are there. Some of our red cabbage over here. Some of these heads are coming along rather nicely. Again, I need to pull off some of these lower leaves that the insects have gotten at. I think it's much easier for the birds to get down in here. Unfortunately, we don't have the wasps, the parasitic wasps that we've had in the past. This season's just been really hard on many of the insects, except for the pests. And over here we have our Cabernet red onions. They're doing pretty well. Let's go over here. So this is our butternut squash row right here. There are a few of them, not as many as we usually have at this time of year. Let's go in here. So our chives have been doing well, our chards have been doing great, the cucumbers have been doing very well, the celery has been doing great in here as well. So far all of these have been doing great. And then we have our so right here is one of them right here. Our Sweet Georgia squash that are doing really, really well. They're really prolific. This is our first time growing this heirloom squash. I'm really looking forward. heard so many great things about them on YouTube videos and on online. So we'll see how that all works out. The Blue Hubbards aren't doing quite as well. I probably won't add any video footage of those plants at this time because I've just got a lot. You know, we'll take another look from this side. Try to turn this camera up some. So these Georgia sweet candy squash, a few of them are already over 2 feet long. Really, really gorgeous looking squash. They're all, maybe able to see some of these. Zucchini aren't doing as well this year, but the cucumbers have been doing just fine. Over here we have our light red kidney beans on the left hand side. They're doing pretty well considering I really haven't kept this bed as weed free as I would like to. Well, most of the beds I haven't kept as weed free as I would like to tell you the truth. But that's life. Strawberries in this first bed aren't doing quite as well. We've got lots of weeds growing up. We got some columbine, some clover and all, so they're shading out some of these strawberry plants in this one. The other bed, the strawberries are doing great. So this bed here, this bed here rather, this bed I really want to go ahead and redo just like I did this bed here last year. And we got the purslane in here. Thea's very reluctant to pull any of that out, but we have so much of it. We eat so much of the purslane all the time. Really beautiful, succulent weed. Really, really wonderful. And of course our zucchini squash, our zephyr squash, which is really prolific, really doing a fantastic job. These ones really need to be harvested every single day. And again, these are an F1 hybrid, but we've got one plant that seems to be reproducing true to itself. And then we've got our rain gutter garden here. We got our cut and come again lettuce, that our cut and come again romaine lettuce that we've been growing now, and we just keep cutting them off and they just keep coming back, and all those little leaves are pretty darn good. If I had more time, I'd be saving seed from so many of these. We got a second crop of spinach coming up now. Over here the watermelons are doing fantastic. It's just completely occupied this whole area over here. This plant right here with these little red flowers on them, this weed here is our Pennsylvania sweetweed or smartweed. This is one the Japanese beetles will go to, and you'll see there's spots where the Japanese beetles have been on, but it keeps them off all the other plants. So that's worked out pretty darn well so far. So I think that's about all I really wanted to show you today. I just wanted to shoot a little bit of video footage. I may set up the tripod when I harvest some of these plants over here in the eastern garden that I just talked about. We'll see. But if you found this video of value, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, hit that bell icon if you want to be notified when we post another video. And certainly, folks, have a fantastic day. Stay hydrated and stay cool. Bye-bye now.